right, guys, welcome to our podcast. We're super excited to have my back when I was in a sorority, Madelyn Lego on. She is an actor, a singer, and a creative currently based out of Columbus, Ohio. You can keep up with her at MadelynClaireLego.com or at MaDielego on all platforms. Instagram, she's really fun on there. She's super sarcastic, hilarious, and she'll definitely brighten your day. So how's it been? How are you holding up during all this craziness?
Good. It's been kind of like an interesting time. So my fiance is a COVID ICU nurse. So I feel like I've sort of seen the world from his point of view a little bit. And then also myself, sort of everything in my life has changed in the last 6 months since all of it happened. So I'm holding up fine, every day finding new ways to feel normal. Mm-hmm. But yeah, life's good. I really
congratulations, by the way. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I can't wait to meet him. I feel like I picture me and Sam. Well, now I don't know if you're ever planning on living in New York again, but I always pictured me and Sam visiting you in New York and all us for hanging out, going to the gym. And this is gonna happen
you can
someday.
visit me now. I mean, you can come visit me now in Columbus. It would still be fun.
That'd be closer.
It's hard right now because of everything. But so the reason we're in Columbus right now, I was working at a theater here prior to the shutdown. And when the shutdown happened, I didn't know really what I was going to do. And so I also work at Lululemon and I work at one of the stores here while I was working at the theater. So I stayed on part-time with them through everything. And then it came time to sign my lease in New York again. And I sort of was well, I don't really know when theaters are going to reopen. And I don't really know what that looks like. And I didn't have a time frame. So I went ahead and moved all my stuff back here and have been based completely out of Columbus since then. But Ben is on a contract here with a hospital for the next year. So that's why we're in Columbus. And then after his contract with this hospital, we will be moving back. So
nice. Yeah. I think it was a pretty good call probably to get out of New York during that. Because then it ended up being lasting way longer than any of us imagined.
Absolutely. And it just felt right to be here, especially, now that I'm engaged, it's okay, well, time to be, with my partner. So,
when you want to have your wedding?
I don't have a date. And I say it very strongly because I don't want to have a wedding until everyone can go without wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And I know that some people are doing a great job of having socially distant weddings and smaller ceremonies, whatever. But I want to have a big party with all of my friends and I don't want to compromise it. So I would rather wait 2 years to be able to do that than doing it now and being a risk and making people uncomfortable because I want everyone to feel like they can come. So we don't have a date. We know it's probably going to be a destination because neither of us have a place we're dying to have it. And it's going to be a huge party. That's all we know.
That's exciting. Is your boyfriend from Ohio?
Yeah, he's from this area. He's from 45 minutes outside of Columbus, Ohio.
How did you meet him?
We met on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had, contrary to how much I'm on Instagram, I really don't like spending that much time on my social media. So I had a bot that would go through and posts for me. I'll admit it. And I don't anymore, but it liked a bunch of his pictures. And he then was who is this random girl? So then he liked a bunch of my pictures. And I was like, wait, who is this guy liking my stuff?
That's
I didn't
so
realize
funny that like
I didn't realize my bot had liked his stuff. And so then I liked like another picture of his or something, and he commented on one of mine. And so once he commented on my picture, I slid into his DMs and I was like, hey, what's up? And we started talking and never stopped.
That's amazing.
Wow.
You could be
That's
like,
such a good story.
you'd be like, yeah, actually, joke's on you. I was not that into you. It was the bot, but actually I like it.
Well, and like right after that, I pretty much just like stopped using that bot. And I was like, well, whatever, I'm done. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't care that much. And stopped using it. I was like, well, it made me find love. So it was worth it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We met on Tinder. So
I've never heard that story before.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think dating apps are like, if you use them the right way, they are great.
Yeah. I feel like I have to coach girls how to use them. Like they're always like, it's just a bunch of douchebags that just want in your pants. And I'm like, well, it's very easy to tell a guy that's like that from the get-go. Like,
right. Like, how are they speaking to you?
Yeah. Are they saying like, I want to take you out to a nice restaurant and spend my money on you? Or are they like, come over, like last minute asking you to come over and watch Netflix? You know what I mean? So,
right. Is it a 3 p.m. or a 3 a.m. text?
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a puppy, by the way, too. And
I've seen it
a ball of energy.
She's a girl. What's her name?
Yes. Her name is Maeve. So my 2 dogs are Tate and Maeve. They are both golden doodles. Maeve is like 4 or 5 months old. And she's a spitfire. I'll tell you what, I've never had a puppy. Shh. I've never had a puppy. I was not around when Tate was like brought home. So, and I didn't grow up with dogs. I grew up with cats. So this is the first dog I've ever had. So it's a whole new experience for me of like potty training a puppy. What? It's so hard. It was so hard, but she's doing well now. She's good. She's
Hopefully
just crazy.
We don't have any accidents during this. It's okay.
We should.
If we
knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Back up. That made me think of a question earlier. You said you used a bot to like people's, and I'm guessing that's because you feel somewhat of a pressure to have a social presence, because now in Broadway or acting, it seems like they're also pushing for people to have like a social presence, obviously, because it's the new form of advertising and you want to advertise your movie. So how do you like cope with those pressures? Do you wish that you lived in the centuries before this where there weren't those pressures? Like you could be an actress without having to post on Instagram?
Yes, I 100%. And some of the actors I admire the most really don't have much of a social media presence, like even to this day. And I love that like they're able to just exist and like make their art and they don't have to do like the other stuff. They don't have to do ads and like commercials or whatever, because and I think there's something to be said about like when you're at a certain level of like fame and notoriety, like nothing is personal life anymore. Everything is public. And so like, if you have the ability to either not have a social media presence or like to have a private, small enough, like, you know what I mean? It's like Kim Kardashian probably has a secret Instagram that has like 20 people on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right? They all probably
those,
do.
Like Demi
right?
Lovato was caught with one of those.
Yeah, like the burner accounts that they have with their actual friends. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I would want to. I've considered that several points, making like my own Finsta. Like my little cousin has a Finsta. She's in high school. You know what I mean? Like, why don't I do that and have just like that private life? I guess that's what close friends are. But yeah, I admire like the fact that Jennifer Aniston or whatever didn't have Instagram until I think it was like during COVID or whatever that she got it or something, right? I don't remember. but she got it and like blew up in an instant. And I'm like, I can't imagine going from having 0 Instagram to having like 5 million followers or whatever. Like, that's crazy to me. So yeah, I don't know.
Has social media been helpful for you to get work ever? Or
yes. I would say it's more helpful to get like random gig work than it is to get legit work. Like, I will get approached more for that sort of like marketing, advertising, like, hey, will you do an Instagram post? Or like, hey, you're really funny. Can I give you free like, will you come model for me and I'll give you the photos from, like that kind of gig type work versus let me offer you a role in this show. And I think that says a lot about like, it's not, you have to get to a certain level of like social media fame to have it really benefit you. And I am not someone who at this point is like putting in the,
takes a lot of work.
It's a whole other like type of career to like focus on that like social media. Yeah, it's hard.
Trying here.
So hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. And like, I don't think, I think there's still a sense of like people who are auditioning and like doing the actual act, like the acting side of things are the ones that are being cast in movies. It's not the people doing like the, like tea, whatever. And I think that there's a place for both. And I think you have to get really good at one to be really good at, like, when you get really good at one, you can pop over to the other, but you have to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
It's hard. And like social media it's savage. There's so many different industries in it. Like, oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Whole new ball game. Also,
it's like, for example, Instagram is so, you can't get any like organic reach anymore. Like the more time goes on, the harder it is like for me to get like likes or reach on my post, because there's more people using it, more competition, more people like trying to be famous on there. And that's why like some marketing experts really push, like Gary Vee, like use these new platforms like TikTok and stuff. But then it comes with a whole new, like, you have to learn this whole new thing and
a whole new,
and you feel weird. And
yeah, I will openly admit, I have not figured out what my thing on TikTok is. So I've not been posting on TikTok and I'm so behind and I know that, but like, it's a whole new world. You have to just like dive in and do it. And I know that like someday I will start TikToking and feeling confident about that choice. But like, I sit there and scroll for hours and I'm like, how did you guys do this? I have tried to record myself singing for TikTok. And I sing, like I have a degree in this. And I've sat down and spent like 20 minutes trying to record a 30-second TikTok and I'm like, I hate this. It's not good. So then I just realized, so it's probably just me, but
yeah.
Shout out to all you TikTokers.
I actually had a TikTok go viral and it was like the most random TikTok.
Which one was it?
I took this video in the airport behind this girl and I was like, I always feel poor at the airport. And then I showed like all of she had like, I think those tennis shoes, they're called like Golden Goose tennis shoes. And she had like a bunch of expensive bags and I like put in text the name of each bag and the price. And it got 1.8 million views. And it was like, of course, like the thing that's not me that I tried, like I randomly did that, like went viral and it had nothing to do with like me or what I want to do on there really. But at least it was fashion related, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so funny. Like I had no idea. That's really funny. Good for you. I love that. I had one TikTok, one of my like 5 that I've uploaded, and mine are all ones that like, they're not original content. Let's just say,
like a trend kind of.
Yeah, it's like a trend. but is the one where you like walk in on your significant other playing Call of Duty naked. I did that to Ben, and that one kind of blew up, but like.
Wait, he was naked playing it, or you were naked?
No. He was playing it, and you walk in the room naked and see how they react. And he was funny, but it's like, it wasn't
really
me.
funny.
It was him.
Oh, you were
so
naked.
like and so it's like, it doesn't really count.
That's funny.
It doesn't count.
That's hilarious.
I haven't seen
It
that
is
one.
really
That's
funny.
good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That one made me laugh.
So we always do these like random pop questions.
Yes.
And so because we talk about tech, music, health, fashion, pop culture, and self-improvement. So they're all kind of like in those subjects, which
Cool.
I'd love to talk about health with you too, because I know you and your boyfriend seem to be very into that.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite hardware or software that's not common? So what is an app or something?
Just any piece of technology.
It's not common. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll go. I know. I have a Whoop, and I would say that it's popular, but it's not common. And for those who don't know what a Whoop is, it essentially is like another fitness tracker, talking about health too. And it, opposed to like what a lot of them typically do, which is like tracking your steps, tracking like how much you're expending. This one is focused on like your recovery. And so it's really focused on like sleep and your heart rate and like your resting heart rate and how it is, your HRV. Anyway, I got this a couple months ago, and I really do like it. I've never been a great sleeper, and I've always noticed that like my recovery at least seems like it's not as good as it could be. And so I kind of wanted to like figure out why that is, and being able to balance, like, am I really taking my rest days strategically? Am I like sleeping enough? And so it's been really helpful for me. I feel like, especially sleep-wise, I've like finally started to get into good habits again since I've been out of school. I feel like when I was in school, I had no problems with like being on that schedule of like waking up early, going to bed late, whatever it is. And then I was good at it for a while, like while I was on tour. But then I just got into like a really bad habit of this like through all of this, my sleep schedule has been crazy. So this has been a really good way to like balance that back out.
That's a really good one, because I feel like
I was thinking of getting one of those a little bit ago. I still kind of want to.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool.
I mean, I will be honest, I do have an Apple Watch too, so I'm like double strapping it. It's a lot.
Is that a fitness ring thing too?
Yeah, it's one of the rubber ones.
But that doesn't track anything.
Oh, I know those. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Little silicone. Yeah. But I have an Apple Watch and I really love it, but I have a Series 1 Apple Watch and I need to get a new Apple Watch. And honestly, once I get Santa, once I finally either replace or get a new one, I am unsure if I will use this, because the new Apple Watches have more features and stuff that like track sleep and all of that better. So unsure of what my needs will be once I replace my watch. But for right now, this is great. If you don't have an Apple Watch, if you don't have a watch or a tracker, love the Whoop.
Yeah, I had never heard of the Whoop or anyone having it until Joe Rogan. It's like a sponsor of his podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say this past month, suddenly everyone is also promoting it on podcasts. I've heard it on several of the podcasts I listen to. I was like, oh. Ooh.
And I was thinking about getting one because that's the only reason I would really want an Apple Watch, because I have enough distractions with my phone. So like the whole like texting on my watch, I don't really need, but like all of that sleep stuff health stuff is interesting to me.
Yeah. And it's very interesting. Like the app is really, if you're a data person, it's great because it shows you your data right there. And you can just like, oh, I woke up like last night, I had 14 disturbances while I slept, which means like I woke up.
Was it a puppy?
No, it's not even the puppy. Like it's normal to wake up in your sleep, but like I did it a lot last night. So I was probably like uncomfortable. The temperature in the room, just like that sort of stuff that you don't really think about, but can affect. And so, yeah, the app just like tells you all those things right there immediately. And I really love being able to like see that and track that because I'm numbers are.
Me too. I have an Apple Watch and I love all the data. And recently they started, like you said, it tracks sleep and I was happy about that.
Nice.
But it's also kind of disturbing to be like, oh man, that, I'm sleeping much less than I thought some nights.
Yeah.
For the same reason. Sometimes I'll wake up like, and then you're not getting the deep sleep,
Sometimes I wonder if he has that breathing problem in your sleep.
Sleep apnea?
Yeah.
I wonder sometimes if I do too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not. I think I have everything.
Sounds like that's why. Yeah, the internet does that to us now.
True.
When we start WebMDing things.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yeah, I think it's really common that you don't know you have it. And if you're waking up 14 times a night, that could maybe be a sign. So
that is true.
Not to scare you.
I'm sitting here like, oh, I need to go to the doctor.
We'll talk about happier things. The next pop question that I always ask is, what is your favorite song of all time? And what's a favorite right now?
My favorite song of all time. I have a couple, but my like favorite song of all time is All Star by Smash Mouth.
Yeah. I love that song.
I have no shame in it. It's just so hype. And like, it truly puts me in a good mood, no matter how upset I am. I've loved it since I was a little kid. Like my dad always tells the story of when I was really little, I got pneumonia a couple times, like over holidays. And one day he was taking me to the doctor's office and I was in the back seat, like dying of pneumonia. And I sang every word to All Star from my car seat. And my dad always just like says it was so funny watching me be so sick, but really committing to the song.
Maybe that's your next TikTok.
So maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, so All Star by Smash Mouth is my song. My favorite song right now, let me think. Let me just go to Spotify. It'll be faster for me. I get in moods where like every season or like every month or so, I start a new playlist on Spotify of like the new songs. I'm sure everyone does this. Right now, what am I into? I really like Remy Wolf. I don't know. Okay. Two things. Here we go. Three things. Miley Cyrus's new album has been on repeat a lot. Meg Thee Stallion, Good News. That album has been on repeat at the gym a lot for me. And I truthfully will be honest, I did not prepare and I have not listened to Evermore, the Taylor Swift album. Mm-hmm. I was going to yesterday and then didn't, but that's on my agenda today to finally listen to her new album. I'm sure that will be on my favorites. But Remy
Did you
Wolf,
like Folklore?
I loved Folklore. I think it was such a like lovely return to some of her like country roots, and it wasn't trying to be anything. I love that folk sound. So for me, I was like, oh, it's Taylor like writing this stuff. Oh, big fan. I have always, regardless of like if I've enjoyed her songs, I've always admired her as a songwriter. Like I think she is the best of our generation. Mm-hmm. Truly.
Yeah, she has a way with words, very poetic.
Yeah, she's so good. And I think there's a trend right now, especially with like artists that are between 20 and 30, I think, of them really pulling back and like doing all this folk, like actual music and kind of straying away from that pop sound that we're hearing from everyone. Cause like Harry Styles' album is very like pulled back. Hers is that way. Miley has this new like rock sound she's going with. Katy Perry, even sort of like every time she's performed live lately, has been doing like really pulled back performances. And I don't know, it's just something I've noticed, and I really love that because like the 70s easy rock listening like folk sound is my favorite kind of music. So
yeah, I really enjoyed Folklore. It's less of pop hits that I feel like I can turn on when I'm in a bad mood, that like some of her old stuff, like it was like, those pop hits, but it's very like I can have it on while I'm like working or cleaning the house, and it's just like soothing and beautiful.
Yeah.
Who's Remy Wolf?
So Remy Wolf she's a young artist. I only know, I've heard all of her music, but like only really listened to a couple of them. There's a song she has called Monte Carlo that I love. It's such a bop. And then she has a couple others that are like really good as well, and are starting to pop up more on like the curated playlist on Spotify. I'm starting to like see her stuff more. She has a song called Woo that I like. And it's sort of like rap, pop, like new kind of like, yeah. And it's very bright, if that makes any sense. It's like bright and yeah, it's Sounds great. Nice. She's fun.
I'll
You should
give
her a listen. Yeah. She has an interesting voice. But yeah. Those are my tunes I've been listening to.
I've also been listening to Ariana Grande's new stuff.
Her new album, I do like it. I don't know why. There was like, I feel like I missed it. Like I just missed the release of it. And then I ended up listening to it like.
It's not super, after her last album, it's the Thank You Next era. I guess that was the one before that. There's not a lot of songs that you're like, this is going to be a hit or any of that.
There were no songs that I was like, this is a hit, which makes me wonder if she has really good music coming out soon. Like if she released that as sort of like she did with Sweetener and whatever, the two that she did back to back.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you doing that again? Are you going to drop another album?
Yeah, it did remind me of Sweetener. Like
because it was like a little more vibey, chill, like not
experimental.
Yeah, it was experimental, which I don't know. I'm excited to listen to Evermore though, because if it is similar to, sorry, I bounced back to Taylor Swift. No, but like similar to how Taylor Swift has now done Folklore and Evermore, I'm excited to see if Evermore feels like a letdown or if it feels like it's getting bigger, similar to how I felt with Ariana Grande's two albums of like, one of them was kind of like, and then the next one was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Did that make sense to you? Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want you to put your hopes up too high forever. Just warning you.
I actually haven't seen many people's reaction, which kind of makes me feel like that might be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's good, but it's nothing different really from the last one. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Workout food routine, if you have one. We're switching over to health. Do you have a workout or food routine?
Yeah. So workout wise, I train in like more of a bodybuilder type style for like lifting. And then I do cardio like 3 times a week. But I do like, I get at least 10 to 20. That's a very broad range, I'm aware, steps a day. But then I'll like do cardio on top of that. Cardio, I know I
10
get,
to 20,
so I don't really
10 to 20 steps all day.
K 1,000 a day. Yes, I take 10 to 12 steps a day.
That would be like me.
That's how I keep this shape. No, so like I get my steps and I know I'm always going to like get my cardio because I either run or bike or like cycle or something like 3 times a week. And then I lift like 5 or 6 days a week.
Wow.
As do you do a specific split for lifting?
Yeah. So I do push pull legs typically. Nice. And that goes back and forth. Right now I'm sort of in that split. I do occasionally like take times in which I'll do like more spot specific, and we'll do like a chest day, a leg day, a back day, a shoulder and arm day, like that sort of split. But right now I'm just coasting. I'm not really like, it's bad to say I don't really have any goals, but right now my goals are just like weight specific more than anything. And I'm not trying to like super train for anything. So I'm sort of just like coasting in that I'm like doing what sounds fun that day, opposed to like being really strategic with my planning. But yeah, I love to lift. Like lifting heavy stuff is one of my favorite things in the world.
Have you always liked to lift, or did your boyfriend get you more into lifting?
I've always. I started lifting. So when I was in high school, I played volleyball, and we lifted for that. And that's like the first time I really lifted. And then when I stopped playing volleyball, I stopped lifting for a little while. And then when I went to college my freshman year, and I was sort of like, oh crap, I don't want to gain the freshman 15. I did anyway, but I digress. I started lifting again my freshman year of college, and I would go like a couple days to the rec, but I didn't start lifting like at that point. I was still sort of doing like random whatever. I didn't follow anything. I started following a plan more probably my sophomore year of college was around when I started to like, yeah, because it was right after I like had a weird sickness thing. And after I did that was when I was like, oh, I'm going to like put more focus on my fitness. And that's when I started. So then I had been lifting for several years before I met Ben, and it was one of the things we bonded over. One of our like only mutual friends was actually someone through the fitness community.
Oh, that's cool.
We both know. So yeah.
It's been really hard for me lately to like
the motivation. Are the gyms open where you guys are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good at least.
I mean,
that's like a little bit. Yeah. They're open for now. We'll see.
We have to wear a mask in the gym though, while you're working out.
Yeah. In our gym.
That just recently changed. Like it was, you just have to wear your mask into the gym, but then you like, once you're working out, you cannot have your mask. No.
Yeah. No, you have to wear it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like it's better. It's like, you might as well.
Yeah, it feels pretty like defeats the purpose if you're like taking it on and off, like
every
when
time.
you're getting it closer.
It's like just get one of those one of the surgical ones that's like super light, easy peasy. But yeah, it's been weird. We were really lucky that we have a friend with a home gym like in this big shed that we during the lockdown were able to like, he would just leave it unlocked and let us go work out there.
That's in Ohio or in New York? In
Ohio. Yeah, in Ohio. Awesome. So we got really lucky with that a couple days a week. I mean, it's like 45 minutes away from us, but we were able to do it like a couple times a week, at least while stuff was really shut down. And so we sort of stayed in shape during that. The good thing about the like everything that has transpired this last year is that like during the warmer months, especially when we were locked down, I was going on such long walks and like being outside and whatever. And I feel like since I was in a good space, like fitness wise, even though I really wasn't working out, my physique sort of changed. I saw my muscles sort of like decrease, but I did feel like I was able to like sort of maintain something I was like okay with, only because it was warm and I was walking my dog. But the second it got cold, I was like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's how I feel this
I miss
fall.
the warm
I've
weather.
been like, all right. Yeah, so it's okay though. We'll make it out. We'll make it out to the other side. Spring will come soon.
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to winter.
I know. It's gonna really suck, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Chris, we've got the Christmas spirit to help us right now.
God bless Christmas.
Typical thing. This is a fashion question. Like, Can you explain your style? Like what you would typically wear casual day and then what you would wear for getting dressed up.
Okay. So typical day, to be honest, I would be in leggings or shorts, like spandex shorts. And either like a crop top or a sweatshirt of some kind. I'm probably wearing Lululemon, and it's because I work there.
You get a nice discount there?
I'm not at discretion to say.
Oh, interesting.
But I'll tell you later.
At Buckle, we got a nice discount. So
yeah, I enjoyed that part. I mean, they treat their employees so well. Like we were kept on through everything that happened. Like while stores were shut down, it's like it's the most. I cannot recommend working there highly enough. But that's what I would be wearing, probably on just like the everyday whatever, and either like if it's summertime, some sort of sandals situation, like probably Chacos. If it's cold, tennis shoes or Vans, I don't know, or Chucks. If I'm dressing up and like dressing cute and going out and doing fun stuff, I'm probably in some sort of like jumpsuit not romper, because I don't really wear rompers, but like jumpsuit situation. It's probably a bold choice. There are hoop earrings involved, a blowout of sorts with my hair. Mm-hmm. And I like boots. I don't know, like boots or heels or like a wedge or a sandal. I don't know. It depends on the season, Shani. You have to be specific. Where are we going? What's the event?
Yeah, I mean, you always look hot. That's the general consensus.
I have no way to describe what I wear. Like my clothing choices are just
she's like the type of person that when she wears casual stuff, she'll wear like the most weird, like the Chacos and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I like
wears like the most weird
sweaters
shit together, but yeah, it works. Maddie can pull it off. You know what I mean? Like that's her personality, is like she can just pull off like more crazy things. Like it's like she'll always wear like socks with her sandals or something like that. I don't know. Do you do that? I feel like that's
sometimes I've done that. That's happened.
This is like a funny pop culture question, and your boyfriend might get jealous, but any celebrity crush that you
who do I not have a crush on, Shani? I have a crush on everybody. I'm a Libra. So I am not totally convinced that I'm not going to end up married to Adam Driver at some point. Adam Driver he's in Star Wars. I don't know if you watch Star Wars. He's also in Girls, the TV show on HBO. He's
that guy's a really
Marriage
Story.
Yeah, I'm in love with him, and like I'm okay if he knows.
That's such a funny.
Didn't he have like kind of a
funny celebrity?
I know, and I'm also in love. Also in love with Pete Davidson. Like,
yeah,
that one I can't say too like loudly though, because I'm worried that like when I'm also starring on SNL that like things will get weird because I'll be married. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want him to know. So I can't yell that one too loud, but I am kind of in love with him. Yeah. And then I'm also really loving, I've always loved Justin Bieber, but like this resurgence of Justin Bieber that's happening right now, like,
yeah,
chef's kiss. What a cutie, right? It's like,
I love like
you love to see it.
His love for his girlfriend too. Like that makes me love him.
I'm like, love your girl because we can't love each other. I have a man. He has a girl. Just like love her.
And he's always hyping her up. It's so cute.
Yeah. And they're, imagine if they ever have a child. It's going to be so cute.
Yeah, I think he wants to have kids soon. I read.
Ooh.
And she's like, wait, like, let's wait.
Yeah, I don't know how old she is. How old is she?
She's younger than us by a few years, I think, or a couple of years.
Yeah,
this is the last pop question. Do you have a favorite self-improvement book or philosophy book? Or any just, if not a book, then a podcast or something that or even a quote, just anything that for you embodies self-improvement or your philosophy helps like you
something that
get by.
Really influenced your ideas.
Yep.
That's a good way to put it. Influence your ideas.
I've read a lot of self-help books, right? Like I'm trying to look and see if I have.
Well, I'm worried when I ask that question that no one's read a self-help book.
Oh no, I've read like every single one. Ask me my opinion. Like I'm that person that's like, okay, let's see your philosophy. And I think when it comes down to it, all I've like really, what I seem to always take away from it is like coming down to the fact that like you're enough, you're on the right path. Like what is for you will not pass you. And I think that has been like the thing I always remind myself whenever I read these things. That's like anything that is for you is not going to miss you, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to decide if I have one that like feels really like the one that, because I really liked You Are a Badass. I really like How to Win Friends and Influence Others. I really like I've read Gary Vee's book. I don't know if he has more than one. I've read one of his books. I really like some of the Tony Robbins stuff.
Did you know who Carissa Kuchis is?
Yeah. She works for him.
Isn't that awesome?
It's so cool. She's just like living out her dreams. And I find that so inspiring. I think what like for me, what I find like to be the most like the best personal development you can do is just taking the time to like develop yourself. It doesn't really matter what program you're following, but if you're taking the time to sit down and try to make yourself a better person, you're gonna become what like more than what you were before. And it's the willingness to like sit down and take that time for yourself. And I feel very fortunate that like something I have learned that is important to me is literally that. And I learned that by working for Lululemon and like having that time that they really devote to like the personal development of their people, of their educators. And like, your training is chock full of this stuff. And I have spent so much time in the last couple of years, like really being able to dive into what my goals are and like who I am and what kind of leader I am and all of these things that I really wouldn't have done if I didn't have someone say like, take an hour and do this for yourself sort of thing. And then pay me for it, which like, that's nice. But Like the best thing you can do is just doing anything. It's, you know, it's like, if you're not sure what philosophy to follow, whatever, like try one. You don't have to commit to that one, but like, if you put the time and energy, you're going to know if something feels right or if it feels wrong. And I've read many, like, I was looking over there because you were asking me the question. I was like, I really don't like that book, but I liked parts of it because like, I don't always totally agree with someone on something. Like there are several books that like talk about their opinions on like how you should get a man and things like that. And I really disagree with some of that stuff, but like, I really admire how they talk about like how you hold a friendship or something. Mm-hmm. So I think you just have to like do the due diligence of not following one person, because I don't think any of them would want you to be that way, but like taking it and sort of like making it into what will better you in that moment, if that makes sense.
I like that. And I like what you said about your Lululemon job, because I found that I learned a lot through my retail job, which is, I think that sometimes we put down having like these normal jobs when it's not like our end goal. And so sometimes people don't take the job at all. And it's like, there are reasons why you're in that place. And there are things that you're going to take from it and learn from it. Like I learned so much about sales just watching one of my other employees, like that had worked there forever, just sell things. Like she was so personable, and she could get you to open up about anything and just really figure out what it is like that your style and you want. And she was never just like, oh my God, look at this cute top. Like it was first, she would like become your friend. And, and it wasn't just to sell something. Like she truly did want to become your friend, like because she was bored or whatever. Like she wanted to make her job more fun by making friends on the job, you know? So it came from like a genuine place. And I think I learned a lot of that, like that through marketing. Like you need to be genuine and personable. I wanted to ask you about your, can you tell the listeners, and I don't fully know, but Maddie is like so talented, guys. Like she's an incredible singer. And I went to this, I was taking a theater class, like my last semester or something. And I like had to go, or maybe it was, I was watching Estancia or something, one of our other singers. And so I went to this performance, and then Maddie was like the star in it. And she was so good. And I was like, Estancia, can you get this girl to join our sorority so she can be my little? And I just like fell in love with you, total girl crush. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your roles, what you've done in Broadway, and like your favorite roles you've had, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I have not been on Broadway.
Well, it's not Broadway. I call musicals, for some reason, I always call like musicals Broadway. Like,
yeah, it's okay. I appreciate it. It makes me sound more important. So musical theater is like my main mode of performance and like my career. But I really have started to love doing more stuff with like film and TV too, but that's like in progress. My main focus has been the stage my whole life. So I did a lot of shows at Western. I was really lucky to be a part of a department that did like a ton of shows a year. So I was fortunate to like get a bunch of experience there. And then after school, worked at a couple different random like regional houses, the summers of college. And then after college, I was in Colorado for like, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months. And I worked there and then moved straight to New York. And then when I was in New York, I was there for 2.5 years before I ended up coming here. But for that first year, I was in the city for like 6 months. And then I went on tour for 9 months. And I was on tour with Pete the Cat, the musical, which is, it essentially was just like a musical of those Pete the Cat books that kids love. There's a musical version, and I toured around the United States doing that for 9 months. And that was like one of the highlights of my life. So fun.
What was your character in that?
I played a couple different characters. So I played like the mom of the family that adopts Pete. I played Grumpy Toad, which is like a bandmate of his. I played one of the teachers. And then I also played, I played the Mona Lisa for like 60 seconds. But hey, chill. But yeah, so I did that tour and it was really fun. It was like, children's theater is super interesting in that like you might perform for a class of 20 one day, and then the next day you perform to like 3,000 kids and their families in like a giant theater. That's and crazy. So it's like, it's really bizarre, the like audience size difference. And it was a super small cast and crew. So there were just 5 of us and 6 of us, sorry, bad math. There were 6 of us and that was it, the whole tour. So I traveled with 5 other people for like 9 months and really didn't see, like we saw other people, but it was only us together and it was crazy. And it was so much fun. And then when I got back to the city, I, did some like random cabaret stuff. I was just auditioning a ton and then I met Ben. And then shortly after I met Ben, when I had been visiting here, I saw that there was a theater in the Short North, which is like the area that we live near. And I was like, oh, holy cow, there's a theater here. I should audition and try to come work because it's like a professional theater that hires out of town actors. And so when that next summer, when the auditions came around, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go like audition at Short North and see if I can book a job in Columbus, like while Ben's there. And so I ended up booking 2 shows and I was supposed to be here this time last year. And then I was supposed to come back for a show in like February, March. And I was going to be going back and forth from New York. Well, when I got here in the fall of last year, started rehearsal for this first show and ended up booking a show after it that kept me here between the 2. So I ended up booking 2 other shows in addition to the 2 shows I had originally booked. So I basically was here for their whole season and was supposed to be in Columbus from the time I like did that first show through the end of or like middle of this past 2020 summer. So when shutdown happened, I was in the middle of that contract and sort of was kept on lurch in like we might reopen, we don't really know what's happening situation. Mm-hmm. And so then they just canceled the season eventually, like earlier this summer. And that's what sort of had brought me actually here to live with him in the first place, was working at that theater. And now I'm here. So goal/plan is still, we'll be moving back so I can continue doing my thing. I'm still auditioning, just doing it from the comfort of my home versus, a random audition space like I would in New York, but that's pretty much how everyone is. Everything is fairly virtual right now still. A lot of the unions haven't, particularly for stage, released like reopen strategies. So theaters are like they just aren't happening for right now. Maybe next summer, we'll see. But I'm still auditioning. I mean, some people are expecting to like there's a show I need to like film an audition for this afternoon that is planning to open in February. And I'm like, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but I'm going to audition anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of what it's been like for the last 6 months. So life is like kind of weird with that. But I've written a lot through this time, which is something I didn't know I love. I've always known I loved writing, but like especially during this weird time where I'm not performing, I've had more energy to like devote to the other part of the job, which is like the creative like writing of it. So, written
what have you been writing?
scripts, writing more
musical theater scripts or like movie scripts?
TV actually is what I really love watching too. But writing, I've started a couple films. Screenplays are just like beasts, and there's so much planning that goes into them. And I think I gravitate more towards TV solely because of like my preferences with what I like to watch. So I've written tons of pilots, like started tons of other random screenplays, like drafted out a bunch of stuff. And I'm sort of just like building my arsenal so that someday when I have like the connections and money, I can be like, all right, and here's this film and just like hopefully get them all made. That's the goal, right?
Sam knows a guy that wrote, what was that movie called?
Oh, Joanna Man.
There's this movie named Joanna Man, and you have to go watch it because it's hilarious. It's so ridiculous. And a friend of Sam's.
It's about a NBA player who gets kicked out for something. He gets kicked out of the NBA, and then he transitions to a woman and joins the WNBA.
It's definitely a movie that
it's very politically incorrect.
That you probably
like 10 years ago, but it was pretty funny.
Wow.
I had a question, if you don't mind, Shani. In the world of theater, let's say, because it sounds like that's most of what you've done, is there I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do people tend to cooperate or be more competitive and cutthroat? Or does it really depend on, the situation?
So a couple things. Depends on like level, and also depends on who you ask. So level, what do I mean by that? So like within community theater or like high school theater or anything that's like more localized and small group, I think it's easier for like competition and cattiness and status to like matter. When you get into college, it gets to be like a bit more cutthroat, but that's more so because people feel they have more to lose because they're doing this in what I tend to see as a way of like progressing their career. Like if they're going into this as a college degree, like I would assume they're wanting to do this professionally. And so I think that's where conflict also can arise. But then you get into the real world, and like, especially in cities like New York, Chicago, LA, but I can't speak for London, but I would assume London and like any other city that has like a bigger, Atlanta, there's places like even St. Louis has a theater community. And honestly, like when you get to it, and Columbus's theater community, I would say is even big enough that like it's supportive. And what I mean by that is like, there's opportunities are not, they're hard to come by, but it's also like, it's not the one show that's being done a year, or it's not like the one opportunity you have. So it's like, there's a little more grace for like, oh, well, you didn't get this one, but like, there's always next time, specifically in the big cities of like, specifically for stage, Chicago and New York, like you audition every day and you get turned down every day. And that's just because there's so many actors and not a lot of jobs. And so you have to get used to saying no. So when you do hear yes, it's like the greatest thing in the world, but everyone around you is supporting you because it's kind of like, well, I also got told no by the 7 other people you got told no by this week. You know what I mean? So it's like, you see everyone more as like you get jealous a little bit, right? Everyone gets a little jealous. We're humans, but like it's easier to fight it off, and it's not as common. And I think that then you get to a certain level above that, where if you start getting a lot of work, then you can get back into that cattiness of feeling the entitlement that comes along with it. And I have seen that specifically with people in New York that have been given like a crumb and then are sort of like expecting the whole pie and they're not getting it. And they sort of get catty for no good reason. And it's like, no, like everybody's working hard. Everybody wants this. Like it's hard. It sucks. And like, not everyone's going to thrive and like have their dream and whatever, but it's, you have to be like empathetic to all the kinds. It's hard. So I think it like depends on where you are, and it is competitive, but it's also, you're able to do it in a way that's positive without getting too catty. And if you're finding yourself getting really catty, I find that it's probably something more internal than anything else. And I think it requires some personal develment.
That's really interesting.
When did you know that you wanted to get into, like pursue it as a career path and like go to college for it and that kind of thing? And were your parents supportive of it, or were they like my parents did not want me to have a journalism major.
Really? That's so funny.
They wanted me to
it's not funny. That's like,
well, it's common though. I feel like, especially when I listen to these like Gary V things, like for parents to, parents want us to be safe. They love us. Right. So their number one thing is like security. Like they're not going to tell me like, go invest all your money in Bitcoin, Shani. Like, even though that could be maybe how I get rich, like that's not going to be their like thing to do. Yeah. So were they like super supportive because they saw your talent, or were they like trying to get you to pursue something else? How was that? And what made you want to pursue it in the first place?
I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for my parents. So I have, my parents were the type that like had their kids try everything just to see what they liked and what clicked. My dad's a drummer. My mom was like in choir, has always loved musical theater. My dad sings, was in bands, like has always been musical. So when they had us girls, my oldest sister is not musical at all. My middle sister can sing and like has a great voice, and she danced. And she danced all the way through high school. She really liked dancing, but like wanted to be a teacher, didn't want to pursue anything with that. She also was an athlete. And when I came around, they put me in dance just like they did my sisters. They put me in sports, did church choir, whatever. But I got really jealous when Delaney, my middle sister, got to go to theater camp, and they were doing Annie Jr. And I was literally so mad that I could not go and be in the musical. I was like, she's not even good. Like, I was a little diva. I was too young. Like, I was 6 years old or something. I was not allowed to go, but I was throwing a fit. And so then that next summer, I was old enough to do the musical or whatever. And so my mom put me in it, and that was like the start of it. I'd already been dancing for a couple of years. My parents put us in like at 3 or 4, whatever the age is that you're allowed to start. So I had already been doing that. And like my parents just kind of could tell that I loved performing. And that being on stage was really fun for me. So they kept like pushing and involving me in things. So I was like in a children's choir in our hometown, and I was in the school choirs, and I was in all the shows, and, like sort of did that. And that was very much encouraged by my parents. And then as I got older, when I started taking like private voice lessons and things like that, I was really kind of not told by my parents, but like encouraged that I needed to sort of pick my focus. And my choices were volleyball or theater, dance, acting, something. And at that point I was like, okay, great. I want to do theater. So I picked that. It wasn't really theater though at that point. It was sort of debating between theater and classical music, because I'm trained classically vocally. So I was like either going to go to college for opera, or I was going to go to college for musical theater. And so then my senior year, I ended up auditioning for programs in both, and decided to go with musical theater because it was what made me happiest. And it sounds really awful, but I'm not great at learning foreign languages. So I just wasn't like super interested in a degree that required me to take several foreign languages, because I'm just like, I'm I'm really not great at them, and I knew I would struggle. And like classical music just didn't bring me the same joy that musical theater did. So then went to school for musical theater. And I mean, at that point, like I said, I feel like when you sort of commit to doing it in college, unless you have a plan for like how you're going to use your theater degree after college, like my assumption is you're going to try to use it. Right. So then my plan had always just been musical theater from there. And it's sort of changed now. And it's like in this, I'll do anything. And I just love all the arts and I'll make all the things with all my friends. But, yeah, my parents were always super supportive. And I feel like I never had a choice, if that makes sense. And I was always in choice, but like, it feels like I was sort of bred to do what I'm doing now, in a lot of ways. So I kind of envy the freshmen that were like, I have no idea what my major is going to be. I think that's so cool. I would love to have experienced that because I have no idea what I would do. I say I like think I would have been a lawyer, but I also don't know that for sure. Like
I could totally see you doing that.
Yeah.
You're good. You have no like idea. A stare that like kills. Like I saw the video of you. It was a video where you were trying to do your like your casting call thing. Like you were sending a video for a casting or something.
Yeah.
And Ben was in the bed and he was like, "Can you get the blinds?" Or "I'm going to go to bed now" or something. And you gave him this look and you were like, "Can I like finish my monologue?"
I know exactly which video you're talking about too. And like that moment is genuinely me just being so mad. I was so upset that morning and I have no idea why. I was probably just in a bad mood.
I feel like that look that you gave him would be good as a lawyer, like intimidating for.
Thank you so much.
The other side, the opponent.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
and an acting.
Yeah, I never know what I would be. And I like try to ask people sometimes because it's like, what do you think I would do? Like, do you think I would be an accountant? Like, what would I have done if I didn't do music? I don't know. Or like musical theater. But.
Yeah. If you could be in any past production or movie, like say you could take the place of Judy Garland in Wizard of Oz, like any past movie, which actress and movie would you be in, or performance in general? Doesn't have to be a movie.
I would love, there's so many. This is such a good question. And I like thought I knew as you started, and now I'm like, I don't know. I would take, there are lots of options here. Okay. This is so hard. I would take, I can't do it. I know for sure it would be a lead actress in some like long running TV show. I'm tempted to say like, I would take any of the three gals from Friends. I would take Allison Janney as CJ Craig in West Wing. I would love to have done that. Like a series that was like so well done. That's like what I want. I want nothing more than to be on a TV show and develop a character for like 7 seasons.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Like that's the dream to me. I would love to do that. Or I would love to have like I would have liked to have been the girl in like, no, I know what it would be. I would want to be Amanda Bynes and She's the Man. End of story. Because I think I could have had Amanda Bynes' career. I think I could have done that. Like the Amanda Show.
That makes the Amanda thing. I feel like I messaged you about this.
We've talked about it, I'm sure.
And I'm just so sad because I really related to her as an actress because you know how I could come off very like weird, silly sometimes.
Totally.
And sometimes I even feel like I have like when I'm joking around, like a masculine energy to me, not like I'm a tomboy, but like,
no, I get what you mean.
I have like I tell a lot of jokes that like dudes would tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt like with Amanda Bynes, even in her early like Nickelodeon, the Amanda Show, like her humor where like she dressed up like a hillbilly and she's got the hillbilly teeth and she's like, hey guys, like that was like so me when I was a kid. And
absolutely. Same.
It makes me so sad that she isn't like, she was like, I think she was extremely talented and like born to act. So it makes me very sad that she can't anymore or that she's not. And I know she wants to, because I remember when she came out, and I think she's under like a strict like conservatorship. And it just makes me sad what fame, I don't know if it was fame that did it to her. I mean, maybe it could have happened either way, but she was so brilliant and talented, and it just like makes you sad, but it's also like, am I attaching myself to this person that was just playing a character? You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I have to like,
you have to separate it.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
get it.
Is she really like, I'm like, well, this isn't her, you know, like I see these like pictures of her and I'm like, this isn't her, like wearing these wigs and like piercings and getting face tattoos. But it's like, maybe that is her. Maybe she's always been the kind of person that wants to get face tattoos. I don't know. Like,
100%. 100%, especially with child stars. Like, and it's so hard for me because I feel like, so I am the prime example of someone that like, I would have loved to have, like, JoJo Siwa is living my dream right now. Like, she's a brilliant businesswoman. She takes her bow off every night knowing that like she's going to live in luxury her whole life because she's just like been a brilliant influence for children under the age of like 8. You know what I mean? And it's like that sort of child celebrity that like gets it and wants it for themselves. And it's not a parent, like, it's not like a Britney Spears situation where like her father or whoever was like, no, you're going to be a star, like that sort of weird stuff. And I think that like, I know Amanda Bynes had like issues with her parents. Weren't like both her parents embezzling her money or something? And like she had to end up like suing her parents or something. I'm pretty sure she has. I'm like not sure,
but she's made a video on her Instagram more recently that says that my conservatorship, they require me to spend $5,000 a month on my treatment. And she's like, I'm making this video because I want to get out of it. I could still do treatment that's much more affordable. And it's like, you have to realize as a parent that control is not the way to heal the person. You kind of just got to let go, you know? And it's like, how is a treatment going to help her if she's really pissed about the treatment and how much it costs? You know what I mean?
Well, and like, I don't even know what kind of treatment, like,
I think it's a house, like she stays in.
It's like a place.
Yeah.
That's so tough. And it's so tough too, because I do think that like there is something to be said about conservatorships and like what's going on with any celebrity and theirs, like specifically the Britney Spears. Like the more I read up on it, the more I'm like, but like, what if they're just unwell and like we, the populace, don't know what's like wrong? You know what I mean? And then I have a hard time. I'm like, how, like, who do we trust? Who do we trust?
And it's like,
it's hard because I don't know her. She's not in my life. Like,
yeah, a lot of times it's for their safety. Like, because if Britney went out and drove her car by herself, all the time, and there were like paparazzi everywhere, she would be unsafe. And then all the people around would be unsafe. And so it's like for everyone's safety, but it's like at some point though, like no one can get better, like locked in a cage. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to let people make mistakes and like their life is not safe. And no one's locking, like I do things that are not safe and no one locks me up, you know?
Right. 100%.
My parents would,
you just don't have paparazzi like chasing you down to the point where you will like wreck your car.
Yeah. My parents would love for me to like live in my small hometown and like not live on my own in the city and stuff like that. But I had the choice to like do it anyway, even though it's not as the safest option, like living on my own in the city, you know? So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's so hard for me to see that,
I know.
But oh, well, we'll be praying that she,
I know
can get out of it.
That's all I like. What I hope for in these situations, and what all we can like really hope for is that like the officials that are working the like trial, like any sort of government official that is like any judge, any whatever, that they are just like actually legitimate and that they are truly judging the situation and not like paid off or anything like that. Not that there's anything that there would be. I don't know. I just hope that like everything, that the law prevails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, makes me sad.
I have a question. Okay. Do you think that pursuing, you know, the arts or theater, but it sounds, I mean, you do more than that, it sounds like. Do you think that pursuing that as your career has changed your personality? And if yes, how so? Like if you were to try to compare, like if you, like you said, if you were an accountant or a lawyer instead, do you think that that's had a different effect on your personality?
Yeah, for sure. I think that like a lot of the things I am good at are because I've been trained in that. Like I've just been trained to do it. I think we are good at what we do a lot of. So like talking in front of big groups of people, like I can public speak in front of the largest group and like not really flinch. And that's because I've just performed in front of so many people that it's sort of like I don't get that sort of nervousness anymore. So I think had I not been doing this my whole life, I don't know if I would be that like confident in front of a group of people. I think I've also had to get pretty good at like forming just like opinion. Like I've had to be good at like thinking on my feet, whether it's like responding to questions like what we're doing right now, or if it's like auditioning in a room and like being like trying to be able to how do I approach this person who's casting? Like, are they someone who wants to chit chat? Are they someone that seems like they're really busy? So I need to like not waste any of their time. Like those skills I learned. And I think that that's been helpful in my real life of like just reading people in general. And I might've learned that in a different way, like with a different thing, but like, that's how I learned it. So I don't know. I do think that like a lot of me would be different if I wasn't an actor, but I still think that like the drive and like the creativeness and like that sort of part of me would still be there. It just would be used in a different way. Like I think I would still be wanting to do something creative. I would still want to do something that like I felt strong doing. It was like yeah, like I don't know. It's so hard. Because like you take something away from yourself that like is so integral, and then you're like, I don't know, who am I without this?
And I also think like it's a kind of a what came first, the chicken or the egg question sometimes too. It's like, did you get into theater because of this innate personality trait you were born with, or did theater grow this personality trait that you maybe weren't born with? You know, it's probably hard to tell.
And I think it's a little of both for me. Like, I think it just, and it's hard too, because then that's where I'm like, I was my mother has been planning this since birth. Like I predict that I think it solely has to do with the fact that my mom like loved musicals, and the first movies I remember watching are like her favorite musicals. And I know that is something of like, okay, I remember it because it was impactful to me, but like, why did this stand out to me? And like Snow White didn't necessarily as a child. Not that it didn't, like I liked that movie, but yeah, I've just like always known musical theater as like this thing that I was drawn to. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. It's cheesy. It's so cheesy because it's musical theater and it's like tap dance and glitter, but you know.
Who is one of your favorite actors and actresses in Hollywood right now?
Ooh, okay. So I do love Adam Driver, like emotionally, but also as an actor, like his craft, big fan of his work. Let's see. I really love, there's so many. Okay, so I also mentioned Allison Janney earlier. I'm a big fan of her work. In recent years, really loving the things that Margot Robbie is doing. A lot of her like recent stuff has been fun for me. I really loved her in Bombshell.
Did you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes. Yes, I did. Very long, very good. That's a great movie though. The CGI abs on Brad Pitt. Right?
Oh, I didn't think
CGI abs.
I think they weren't they? I think so.
I don't know.
I think I read.
But that would make sense. He looked really good in it.
Damn, I thought they were real.
They did a good job.
Because I remember seeing him with his shirt off and being like, damn, isn't he like 55 or something?
Yeah, dude.
I was like, how does he look that good? He's not natty, I'll tell you that.
Not natty. Yeah. So I would say all of them. I really love Zendaya. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I'm
more team Bella Thorne with what she's doing, you know, the OnlyFans.
Dude, her OnlyFans situation. I was like, girl, you are asking for it right now.
No, but I do. Like, for some reason, though, I've always found Bella Thorne so hot. I don't know why.
I get it. She's got this like bad girl energy. I feel that.
Very bad girl. Yeah. Naughty. I think it's like the red hair, but she's Hispanic. So she's like got the Hispanic beauty of like brown eyes and just gorgeous. Sam's gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, you're good.
But then she's got like this red, beautiful hair. I don't know.
Yeah, she's wild. She's so interesting to me. She's such an interesting celebrity. I'm so like, I don't know. She stresses me out a little bit, but I'm intrigued by her.
Mm-hmm.
She has what makes a great
Zendaya. Who else?
No, I really like Zendaya. You know, there's a lot of, what was the movie? Now that I'm thinking of Bella Thorne, I was thinking, what was the scary movie that she was in? I just recently watched them randomly and they were so good. I forget. She's in some like Netflix scary movie and they're really funny.
I don't think I've seen them. I have not actually ever seen her act. I've just seen her.
It's like the only time I've really seen her act. I'm literally looking this up right now. The Babysitter. It's called The Babysitter. And then there's like The Babysitter 2. And she's in them. And she's like a very like not important character necessarily, but she's in them. But they're cute movies. They're fun. Fun little campy, scary movies. I digress. Yeah. I feel like I'm a big fan of those people. Who else am I like excited for? I'm trying to think of new artists. It's hard because this year I've not watched a ton of new movies. It's been a lot of TV for me.
Have you watched The Queen's Gambit?
I did, or I started. I have truthfully not finished. I do like it. That gal, what's her name? She was in Split. She has the big eyes. She's great. I love her. Did you watch, you guys, I feel like all I've watched in the last week is Masked Singer, and it's not, but like it's literally all that's going on in my brain right now. If that's not like the 2020, The Masked Singer, it's like this gaudy, ridiculous TV show on Fox that like celebrities dress up in these masks and they compete and they sing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you like have to guess who the celebrities are and stuff. And it's like, it's just random mindless TV, but I'm so into it because it's so mindless. Nonetheless, I've been watching a lot of it this last week. And so I literally feel like I've not like, I don't know another TV show. That's all I watched. I'm rewatching. Okay, here's something. I'm rewatching Golden Girls right now. And I am just remembering how delightful Betty White is. And then I'm just like stressing out about how old she is. Mm-hmm. So that's an actress I'm thinking about right now. Yeah, I really like, I know I'm missing someone. Like, I'm a big fan of Brie Larson, regardless of like her looking like me. I am a big fan of hers. I love.
Do you like Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence. I really like Jennifer Lawrence as well. She's done tons of things I really love. All of her.
You guys kind of have a similar personality, a little bit.
She's cool. She's really cool. She's someone that like I would love to meet. I love. I love anything Timothée Chalamet touches is great. I really like. I'm excited for. Did you watch? God, sorry, I'm literally blanking on everything right now. No, what's it called? Okay, it's obviously not that important to me, whoever she is. I really like basically everyone that's on the cast of Euphoria. Like, I'm excited to see them do stuff because they're all so good. There's this movie, Unpregnant. I don't know if you've seen it on HBO. And it's about like this girl's experience to like go have an abortion. And it's like this really beautiful coming of age story. And one of the gals that's from Euphoria is in that. And then there's another TV show that one of the other gals from Euphoria is going to be in that I'm excited for. Zendaya, like I said. And then a bunch of the guys that are in that show I really like. And I would like to see them do some other stuff too.
Is Euphoria on Netflix?
Euphoria's on HBO.
Oh, okay. I don't have HBO, but Sandler, do you have it?
I love HBO. I gotta admit, it's the only place I can watch Sex and the City. So
have you seen Borat 2?
We watched it the other night. I fell asleep before it ended. It's funny. Like,
my question I wrote down is, have you seen Borat 2? And then I go, isn't it groundbreaking?
It's groundbreaking. I missed that part. I get it. Like, Sacha Baron Cohen, like,
It's funny.
I get it. But, like,
not your humor.
It's not my style. So, like, I fell asleep. It's funny, and I see the like irony and how you're like poking at all the things about like, but
yeah. Sam's little brother, he wants to be a comedian someday.
I love that. He can be a comedian today. He's a comedian right now.
I know. He actually did do stand up once. He came to St. Louis and lived with Sam for a few months and got up there and did stand up before all of this craziness. And he was hilarious. Like he had me crying, probably because I know him too. And like the jokes were so embarrassing.
Awesome. That's the hardest part for stand up, like getting on stage to do your first, it's the hardest part.
But Mookie, his personality is like, he's always a comedian. Like it never shuts off. Like he's always making dirty, gross jokes.
Very raunchy, yeah.
And like Borat too is like
crude. His
personality. Like he had already watched it and then he had us watch it and then he would not stop talking about Borat too. So like just to put into perspective, Sam's brother, like that movie is like his movie. That's his comedy.
So funny. I mean, hey, it takes all kinds.
A movie we just saw, we saw Snowden on Netflix, and it has the girl that was
oh, I love that,
in the Teenage Pregnant show when we were younger.
What's her name? Like the American Teenager?
Yes. What's her name?
Shailene
Woodley. Yeah.
Yes.
That you should watch.
I have not heard of that movie. Is it new?
Yeah, it's about.
It's they just put it on Netflix, but I think it came out of like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I guess, yeah.
I guess I thought it was just.
It's with Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Ed Snowden. I really like him. He did a really good job.
Ed Snowden, the guy that like got in trouble for like leaking privacy. Like he was in the CIA and he.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool!
It's really good. You would like it.
I'll have to.
Sure.
Yeah. I like both those actors too, so that would be great.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
The Grinch, Jim Carrey version. I stand firmly by that. And I also like to remind people that it is absolutely insane that they lost the Oscar for best costuming to The Gladiator. Those men were half naked. Did you see those Whovians? They are just.
I recently I have to get a root canal and I had like a whole infection. My face was swollen and I woke up looking like a Whoville person. Like,
I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Ouch.
Yeah, I haven't had the root canal yet, but I'm on antibiotics. So swelling has gone down. Yeah, it sucks because it's I've already had the root canal and they have to like, it was like years ago and they didn't get it all. And so they have to like go back. So
again,
and I'm really nervous because they have to drill into my porcelain veneers, which each one was like $1,000 and it could like crack it because they're glass, I guess. So I'm nervous about it because I don't have $1,000.
Yeah, you're like, I can't replace this right now.
What is next for you? Like what should we be looking out for?
It's everything's on hold right now.
What'd you say?
Yeah, she said everything's on hold right now because
of the pandemic.
Yeah, everything is on hold right now. I am working on some new fun stuff though with some friends. So hopefully around the first of the year, I start getting some like actual teaser exciting stuff. But yeah, just like little things. I don't know. I've been doing like a virtual cabaret here and there.
What's a cabaret? I heard you mention that earlier.
Yeah. So it can mean a couple different things. Mostly it typically is just like an evening of an entertainment and it's like music, some like storytelling, that sort of vibes. And so I've done like I've like submitted different like videos and stuff to be part of like virtual cabarets. Essentially is just like a Zoom situation of watching a performance. And so I've done some of that. We'll continue to do some of that. Last year, this weekend last year, I was performing with an orchestra and they had to cancel I was doing their Christmas concert with them. And they had to cancel their Christmas concert and basically their whole season, but they canceled their Christmas concert this year. So they're just streaming my concert from last year. So if you need some Christmas tunes,
and you want to hear me do that, I think they're streaming them like on YouTube or something. You could probably type in my name and find it. Because I don't have the specifics on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just sort of enjoying a low key end to 2020, and then hopefully 2021 starts to, rev back up and we get some actual like momentum going again. But yeah.
And you're going to be in Columbus at least for 1 year?
Yeah, I'll be here for sure, probably through 2021, and then from there we'll be going back to the city. And that's not to say, I mean, if I get offered a job out of the city, like if I book one of these shows, I will be gone for a few months and then be back. But my base will be out of Columbus for now. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
No, I don't think so. This has been great, you guys.
Yeah.
It's so good to talk to you. I feel like I haven't seen you in literally a decade.
I know. We'll have to get together soon.
I know.
Where our conversations
Columbus
are being
isn't
recorded.
that far from us, I don't think.
No, it's really not that far from us, you guys.
I think I
you
drove
guys
to
just come
Cincinnati
visit.
once. No, that's different. But.
What's the weather like there?
Similar.
Really?
Yeah, super similar to you guys. I mean, we just get like whatever you have a day later. So today, I mean, like it was raining a little bit earlier, but it's been like 40s or 50s the last day or so here. But not bad. Honestly, I'm at that point of the year where it's like kind of gotten cold, but not gotten super cold and snowy. But I just like don't want it to get cold and snowy, and I want it to stay like this forever. The more and more, the older I get, the more I'm like, I need to live on a beach.
Yeah. Would you ever move to LA?
Yeah. And that's actually in the cards right now. It's kind of dependent on how this next year goes and like really where I end up putting a bulk of my focus. Like if theaters start to open and I'm able to like start doing more stage stuff, I will probably go back to New York. But since I have been doing a lot more of like film and TV type writing and like trying to break more into that, the idea of LA is like there. So who knows? It might happen. We'll see which of my friends wins, because half my friends want me to go to LA and half of them want me to go to New York. So we'll see which side gets me. Ideally, I'll be bi-coastal though. Like I would really love to be able to have apartments in both places and just like go where the work is for me.
That would be a sweet
That'd
setup.
be dreamy, right? Wouldn't that be so nice?
You could just like put a tent up on. A lot of LA is just tents.
Oh, perfect. Now. Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for being on. It's so good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's been really fun, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice to meet you. Hear your story and everything. It's good stuff to say.
All right. You have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks. I will talk to you later.
Yeah.
I'll listen back to the show. Can't wait to listen to all of them in the future. They're good. I listened to the one with, I don't remember his name. The tech guy.
Chris. Yeah. He's actually here visiting, and we're gonna
hi.
Go do well. He's not in here right now, but
what if he just popped his head in? Hey.
I would have been like, oh, great pod.
We are going to do some like Christmas festivities later today, I think.
Have you done your Christmas shopping?
No. See, I gotta wait for the Christmas bonus before I can afford Christmas presents.
Hey.
Just kidding. I don't know if I'll get a bonus, but but yeah, I am broke as a joke after all these X-rays and things I've had to get for my teeth. I had to do a $300 3D X-ray, but I am abundant and I'm manifesting abundance in my life. So we'll figure it out. We'll get everybody gifts somehow.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great Christmas, and
thanks. You too.
We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Maddie.